Hello everyone, I want to welcome you back to our model building of this week's special, where we were building Model Mania 2002 model, and we finished building the model which was phase 1. In the phase 2 we want to check the limit of parametric capability of this model and try to manipulate some of the criteria from a spreadsheet in a configuration setup. In phase 1 we saw that this model was working fine with some values on this spreadsheet. However, I found out that this model was not working fine up to my expectation. See, if I bring this value down, the model breaks, and which is an issue. So we cannot say we have accomplished the phase 2 goal. So now that we know the problem is, let's go ahead and then try to actually pinpoint where this problem is being caused. So if I take it to a lower number, we can see the empty space goes away, and that empty space is actually this one. So that inside an empty space is not working fine. So we'll have to rebuild that sketch. I already tried couple times. Couple of my bypass methods has not worked so far. So let's keep. I have another theory on using the subshape binder. So let's go ahead and then try building actually the empty space on a subshape binder on this face. To do that, we will have to use the part design workbench. I know that this subshape binder can be used in part as well. So I want to select this face, build a binder, and then maybe hide this for now. Okay, so here it is, and then the binder has an offset feature. So I want to bring it down by 7, let's say -7. Nothing changed. How about -2? We start. Okay, so that worked. So there is the binder. It offset by -2. How about -3? Okay, so there is something. Oh, I know what's going on. Let's bring it back to 0. Okay, you see this, as we bring the offset down, this boundary goes inside and that boundary comes outside. So at some point this becomes 0, and this offset is not handling negative values. So -2 working fine, -2.5, it's working fine up to that point, and if we bring it more, it just doesn't work. So the offset thing, we cannot use it. How about we build the sketch on this binder? Will that work? Let's find out. So we want to use this face and then build a sketch. Let's go back to part and work on this face. So we will do the same thing, but this time I want to try another one. I want to use this length so it is always positive. Let me show you what I see. See, I can select a dot from here, from the circle, and I can also select the center of it. What I want to do is I want to build the same thing that we did in the previous one there. So between this point and this point, the distance should be 7. What's happening is, as we modify these values, this point comes around here and then messes up my sketch. So this comes this way and becomes convoluted like this. So to avoid that, I want to actually bring in this line, make that a construction geometry. Okay, I want to measure the length of this line. actually this constraint distance. So this is always, there should be a reference line, and because I want to use that in my formula, let me put a name. Okay, there is that. So the rest of the things will be usual. So the distance is 7, and these two are symmetric. I can draw another line between these 2 points and make a length about 7. So that's 7. I want to make this on one horizontal plane. Now there is 1 degree of freedom, which is the distance. What I want to do is I want to make this distance, so this would be 7.5, which is exactly not 7.5 because it's an ellipse, so it's probably a little bit more than 7.5, but let's take that as 7.5 plus 7 all the time. And to do that, I want to bring in one dot here, put this on this line. I want to make this distance and use this directional distance, which is always comes with directions. So I want to make that as a formula. Take this reference that we named earlier, say constraints dot, was it radius? Yes, plus 7.5, maybe millimeter. Yeah, so that worked. Okay, cool. So we build that, hide the binder, bring everything back, and this sketch, it was empty space inside, and we want to pad that in the reverse direction with a formula. So I name that empty space in. The length would be, that comes from the formula, which is half the diameter. Say I'm just gonna make it a little bit more. Yes, doesn't hurt. All right, so I want to keep this and delete this, and then, so this is the extension 4, and make everything one piece. So this is half object, and mirror that against XY plane. 2 half makes final object. Okay, now let's see if it worked out. Let me make it 100. So far so good. 120, good. 100. Okay, it's working. So it was 70. Alrighty, I guess the angle, I can say okay. So there is that. It is working fine so far. So we rectified our modeling, and the model is working fine. So we can jump into phase 2 right now. What phase 2 was asking to us was to build up this configuration table and make these 4 options available readily, so we could jump in from one to another. We can do that easy. What I want to do is I want to write this default. So we have the table. What I want to do is I want to click in here, build a configuration table, and name it, say, configurations, and say parameters. Okay, so we come here in the spreadsheet, it comes as default, we go to B, there. That's our model. We come, actually I want to refine it so it looks good, and we come to C. That works. Come to D. Fine, it's working fine. So the model is working. We accomplished phase 2. So phase 2 was pretty simple. Just build this configuration table, 1 minute job, and now we got our things. But I want to clean it up just a little bit more, so spare me 2 more minutes, please. What I want to do is so now that I have to go to spreadsheet and change the configuration from spreadsheet, I can do that in this object mode. To do that, I'll have to come create a part, okay, and bring in the final object within the part. And in configuration table, what I want to do is I want to come to configuration table, and here I want to say part dot configurations. Okay, about that. Now I have the option to move through it in the part. So in the default, that is default. Okay, that's what this table was asking for. It says there will be one default configuration and B, C, and D. So we have one default configuration and B, which is that, and C, that, and D is kind of little long. All right, so as you can see, I select the configuration from here. The value from this table updates in this main line, and then the model updates. So that's our phase 2 accomplished without any flaw. The whole model is working to its full parametric capacity. It was definitely a learning experience. One of our sketches broke down because of this parametric moving down, but subshape binder came to rescue us. So hopefully that's a good thing that we learned in the process. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next special bit. Until then, stay safe. Bye.